So I just finished up installing the Wolftooth ReMote on my Santa Cruz 5010, which is running, it's a 2014 5010C, which is running Shimano XTR race brakes. It's the M987 brake. That brake model is Shimano's I-Spec B, and so that's a different. There's a specific mount when you're putting the Wolftooth remount trigger lever, dropper post remote on. This one here that I just opened up, this one's going to go on my 2016 Evil Reckoning, which is running XTR trail brakes, but from 2016, which use the Shimano I-Spec 2 mount. And that particular mount, a little bit different because it's got if you look close, it's got a little ridge here on the outside, and what it does is it fits nicely. There's a shim. If you don't run Shimano shifters, there's a shim that sits in the brake lever clamp that goes around the bar. When you want to run I-Spec 2 compatible shifters, or in this case this dropper lever, it replaces that shim. So we're going to get started on that. I'm replacing a KS Lev remote. It's a fine remote, fine post, but this is something better. The post is fine. I'm just going to replace the dropper lever with an underbar versus the vertical. So we'll see that. My Evil Reckoning, 2016 Evil Reckoning, built up by Fanatic Bike. They did a fantastic job. Holds together real well, no shakes, rattles, odd sounds. But this is a video about replacing, I'm in the middle of my project of replacing the KS Lev Integra remote lever with a Wolftooth dropper lever, the ReMote. As it is, Wolftooth make different mounts so that you can mount the lever directly to brake levers, if you like a cleaner bar setup, which is what I'm going for, but I'm really going for the underbar mount. If some of you know, I've got the Fox transfer post and remote lever on another bike, and that's just a clamp. And Wolftooth makes one that's just a clamp as well. But this is what I'm going for with this is to clean up the bars and get an an underbar remote installed. Good winter project. So what we're looking at here is, this is a 2016 or 2017, anyway, this is a late model Shimano XTR trail brake. And what we have going on here is this is not like the same model that I put on my my 5010. This brake is a Shimano I-Spec 2 designation, and I'm going to try something out here. Get a nice little zoom right above the writing where it says push to open, and I'm going to zoom in here. Right above that, if you look near the interface between the bar clamp, right above push to open, and the handlebar, you'll see a little shim. That little shim is effectively the adapter that Shimano I-Spec 2 compatible shifters use, and Wolftooth have designed the ReMote to replace that shim and to fit nicely into that space. And here's the shifter, and so you can see how that would work. There's a little bit of a lip, a little bit of a ridge. That's to keep it centered. Let me just click. I seem to have clicked the autofocus button earlier. And so here's what we've got going on with the remote. And that's the part of the shim that's going to go inside that bar clamp. So I suppose I kind of lucked out. What I've got going on here is I've got like I said, I've got the KS Lev Integra aftermarket remote. It's a clamshell remote. I understand this to be the KG model, I think. That's what they call it. And the noodle is there. But what's going on here is, unlike the one that I just took off of the Santa Cruz, which was a couple-year-old KS, still the Integra model, this one didn't have a fixing bolt to keep the cable in. It used, just to say it differently, the derailleur cable end is situated right in this hole, and then you feed the cable all the way through to the dropper post. That's what it, so that was a little bit of a different setup than I was ready for, and as a result, I ended up in order to get this to work without resorting to taking out the post and doing a new housing and doing a new what do you call, cable, and because the KS lever sits way over here normally, when you're moving from a KS, at least in my situation, when I'm moving from a KS post to the wolf tooth, I've got a whole lot of runway. I mean, the housing in and of itself is probably going to be fine because it's going to sit right in here like this. So I've got plenty of housing to guard against, when the bars, in an unplanned dismount and the bars flipping completely around. I've got some runway there. But what I did have to do was crimp, cut the end of the derailleur cable off, and then I should be back in business to be able to, do the work on the brake lever. So this is the shim that sits in the brake lever clamp. That comes right out, and in its place we will be putting this guy, and that shim there that we saw is this guy on the new brake lever, or excuse me, this piece that'll slide right into that clamp. Okay, so I just did a test fit, and the wolf tooth remote sits just like that inside of the brake lever body. I've got my finger on it right now, but it just sits, there's the top part of the clamp, sits right in there. We're going to close this up, go over the bar, it's going to hang down. Real clean bar setup with the underbar lever. Alright, let me show you a cool little feature that I like. I don't have huge hands, and so I like to run the lever a little bit closer to the bar for me. The way that this is set up, I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit of a gap here. We're not doing final setup, but I'm just going to show you one of the cool little features that wolf tooth has. So surrounding the bearing, you've got the fixing bolt that connects the dropper itself, the dropper lever itself, excuse me, for the lighting, to this body, and then this body is connected to the mount. But under here, you can put your Allen key in there, give it a little bit of a twist, and the wolf tooth has some fore and aft adjustment, or lateral adjustment, I guess that would be. And so depending on where you like to position your bar, your dropper lever, you can fix that up how you like. I like it quite a bit outboard, again, because I don't like to take my fingers that far off the bar, my thumb that far off the bar, and I want that pretty close. So I'm going to fix that up right there and get to finishing the install.